Welcome to the Everyday Witness. And
Hello,
today we are
hello.
joined by the Olivia Pierce.
Yes,
Welcome
yes.
to the Everyday Podcast.
Thank
Witness,
you.
thingamabobber, thing. I don't know. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. It's an early morning too. I don't usually do this before like 4.
Paxton, you haven't done anything today yet.
Neither of you. Schoolwork.
School.
But anyways, for those of y'all who don't know, this is Olivia Pearson, and I'll let her kind of give you a little background as to who she is.
Hey guys, I'm Olivia. I am the kids admin at First Baptist Concord. Um, Paxton, I think I met you like what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
2 years, almost 2 years ago at Beach Week.
Yes, two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Orange
was
team.
2 years ago. It was 2 years ago at Beach Week. Was the first time I ever met Paxton. Very big personality. That was my initial thoughts. Very big personality. But I'm originally from the good old state of Oregon, Oregon State, Oregon, end of the Oregon Trail. Yeah, born and raised there. I grew up dancing in a ballet company, and then I spent most every summer at Ballet Mag in Mississippi. So I used to be in Jackson, Mississippi every single summer.
Goodness.
Yeah, so I spent all my summers there. Met my best friend Anna Marie, who is from Knoxville, Mary Ann's daughter. And so one year before we went down to Jackson for that intensive, I came here to Tennessee and visited her, and we drove down together. And then I came back with her and spent some time in Tennessee. And then, like 2 years after that, I found out that I was going to move to Tennessee. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I've been there. But I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, summer of 2021. Yeah, now here we are.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you go to Concord as a
Yes.
church. So why don't you kind of give a little background to that?
Um, when I came and visited Anna Marie, I had gone to Concord with them just because I was here over Sunday and I was like, let's go to church. And they were like, yeah, come to church with us. So we went to Concord. And then when I moved here, so I lived in Athens, Tennessee, which is like an hour south of here, if you don't know where that is.
I do now.
And then when I moved there and like we were all kind of like getting settled, finding our churches, I just kind of like had a moment of like, everybody I dance with in this company is going to like the only two churches in this town. I was like, I kind of need my own outlet, need my own space. And so I was like, I remembered really loving Concord. So I was like, I'm going to go back and try it. And then I went back 2 Sundays in a row and I was like, yes, I was like, I want to stay. So then I just stayed and that was my like home church.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Concord is a great spot.
Yeah.
Been there for 2 months now and enjoyed every second of it for sure.
Yeah. And a lot of people like will ask me like, how do you feel like going to such a big church? And I'm like, it's actually pretty normal for me because like our church back home is a really big church and it's like it's not Baptist, it's non-denominational and like they don't do like Bible study groups or anything, but like it's pretty much like the same size as Concord.
Yeah.
So like even though Concord's really big, like it kind of felt like homey to me because I was like, oh, like this is normal.
It's like you were just back at home.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of going to your early church, can you kind of take us a little walk through your walk with Christ and how you came to know Him?
Yeah. So we were born into a Christian family. Praise God. My parents were really intentional about like sharing the gospel with us and like helping us understand what the gospel was, but they also made it clear to us that they like wanted it to be our decision too. Like they weren't going to push us into anything. They wanted it to be our decision like when we decided to follow Christ. Um the first time I was like 6 years old in my bedroom with my sister. It was after church one day. And I remember like she had like just accepted Christ, but I was like, oh my gosh, like my big sisters are doing it. I want to do it too. And so like I prayed the prayer with her, and that was like kind of like when I first started like following God, but like not really because I didn't actually know what I was doing. And then actually through dance, at my very first summer intensive in Jackson, we were doing, they call it creative worship, which like for dancers, like sometimes like if there's worship music on, like, yeah, I want to dance because it's great and it's fun and it's like how I express my love for the Lord. Um, but I didn't dance that day. I was literally just sitting in the corner by myself, just like sitting there praying, talking to God. And he kind of like finally hit me and he was like, do you actually know who I am? And I like thought about it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, do I? And he was like, no, no, you don't. And so that summer, it was like literally 2 days after that, I kind of like finally came to the realization of like, I say I'm a believer and like I say I'm a follower of Christ, and like I go to churches and I but like I don't actually have a relationship with him. And so that summer I like officially accepted Christ into my heart. Summer of 2018, July 26th. Yes, July 26th, summer of 2018. That was when I like first actually like accepted Christ and like actually started following him and walking with him. And then like when I came back from that summer intensive, I had actually switched studios. I was at a secular dance studio and I switched to a Christian dance studio. And so like it kind of just like went and builded from there.
And that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, say you accepted Christ. When did you get baptized, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually got baptized fall of 22. Cause like so Western culture is a little bit different. Like over there, we obviously like don't have a lot of Baptist churches. Like I think we probably had like one within a 70-mile radius of where I lived. So like baptisms like weren't a super big thing. Like I think our church maybe did them like once a year. Like we would all go to the lake in the summer and they would do baptisms. So it's like it wasn't really something that like registered with a lot of people. So like I understood what baptism was, but like I kind of just thought it was like another check mark, you know? And so I was like, oh, like it doesn't really need to happen. And then like once I came here and I like started learning like a lot more about like what it actually is and like the significance of it and the meaning of it, I was like, no, like I want to get baptized. And so when I joined the church is when I got baptized.
Well, that's awesome. Well, obviously, as you know, we're always wanting to hear a story of how God's been using you, not maybe not just using you, but using somebody through you or to you. So, what would that story be for you?
My dearest, dearest best friend. She's actually my god sister. Love her to death. Her name is Kat Blankenship. Love you, Katie. But she's just been kind of like really influential in my life, especially when I moved here. We lived together when we moved here because we both danced in the same company. But she was very intentional about like wanting to see my walk progress and my walk grow. I was here. Like I moved here really young. It was a month after I turned 17 is when I moved to Tennessee. Didn't have my family with me. Everybody else in the company was older than me. They were all like 20 and up, and I was 17. And so she was very intentional about like wanting to help me grow and like teaching me things. And then like if I had questions about something like anything like within the Bible or like whatever, like she would always like be wanting to help me and like understand. She came and visited churches with me, wanted me to find a place that like I felt like was going to be a good place for me to grow spiritually and not just be like everybody else is going here, so I'm going to go here too. So she was actually a big influence of why I started going to Concord because she also went to her own church that she found, and she was just like, in this time that like you're on your own right now, you're obviously young. She was like, I want you to find a place that you feel like God is going to use you in, and a place that you're going to be able to serve, and a place that you're going to be able to grow in your walk, and that there are people there who can like speak life into you and all these different things. And so Concord really checked a lot of those boxes. And so, yeah. But I've known her probably since I was 14 years old. We also met dancing in Jackson, which is funny. But yeah, there was one summer, it was after the summer that I met her, that I didn't go to Jackson, but she wrote me letters all the time and like would mail me letters to my house. And it was like, that was one of the sweetest things that I can remember. And I still have like all of those letters saved at my house. And like, I'll go back and read them because there's like so much scripture just like listed in the letters. And then like prayers that she wrote me. And like, she's definitely someone that it's like, that is my girl. Like, if I ever need prayer for anything, like, that's who I call. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, kind of going off of that,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like there was a time where the Lord was showing you his true power? Where whether it was in your faith walk or whether it was just one day out of the random that you weren't expecting?
I do have a story for you.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be fun.
No, this is like a really cool, really good story.
All right, let's go for it.
Summer of 2018 at dance camp. So this was like the third week of the intensive. It was a month-long intensive. I broke my ankle
Ooh.
at dance camp. Went to the doctors, they took x-rays, put me in a cast, sent me on my way. And I was just kind of there like, okay, like I'm still here in Jackson. This is like the beginning of week 3. I still have 2 more weeks to go and now I'm in a cast. I was like, what do I do? And like the director came over and she was like, if you want to stay, she was like, we have no issue with you staying. You can stay, watch classes, like do everything normal still. She was like, but if you want to go home, like that is also completely up to you. Like we'll pay for your flight back. Like don't even worry about it. And so I took 2 days just to kind of like really think about it and pray with it. And I was like, no, I was like, I want to stay. I was like, I want to stay through the summer. Like God's still moving, God's still working. I want to see what he's going to do. You know what I mean? And then like, I think it was literally like 4 days later, we were in another creative worship. And like all of my friends were there and they were like praying over my foot, praying over me, and like just really like that was like a really big like strong community moment because there were like so many people that I didn't even know who they were. I was like, hi. They're like, can I pray for you? I was like, yeah. I'm there. I'm like sobbing, crying. And then the next morning, we were in chapel that morning, and like I wasn't even thinking about it. And I just like stood up like after chapel was over and just kind of started like walking along in my cast. And I was like, wait a minute. It's like I'm putting weight on my foot, but I'm like, there's literally no pain. I was like, I'm walking on it. I was like, this is weird. And so I went over to the director and I was like, hey, like, can I go back to the doctor? And she was like, yeah. And I like kind of explained it and she was like, okay. And like, mind you, 4 or 5 days before this, my ankle was the size of a softball and I had an x-ray where there was a big crack in my bone.
Yeah.
Like my ankle was broken. So we go back to the doctor. He takes some more x-rays, takes off my cast, and he comes back in and he's like, so just for like safety, I'm gonna put you in a boot. He looked at me and he goes, you don't need it. We were talking about it and he was like, because of your x-rays, I had to treat your foot like it was broken because it was. He was like, your new x-ray is not showing anything. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, okay. And so I called my mom and I was talking to my mom about it. I was like, I mean, like, they sent me the x-rays. I sent you the x-rays. Like, don't even know what's going on. And I was like, now I'm just like in a boot for security purposes. And she was like, okay. She was like, well, like, we'll go get your foot checked out again when you get home. But she was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah. And so the main reason they put me in a boot is because like we had to fly home and go through security and get on an airplane, all of those different things. So they were like,
Makes
just
sense.
in case,
No,
we'll
it
put you in a
makes
boot.
sense. Absolutely.
But like that was probably the craziest moment where I've like ever saw the Lord's power like specifically in my life because like you hear about all those stories, like you hear about like in the Bible when like God heals people, but it's like when it actually happens to you, you're kind of just sitting there like
You don't know what to think.
what the heck, what just happened? But it was like sometimes when I still think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I've never had an issue with that ankle. And I danced professionally. Never had an issue with that ankle ever again. In fact, it's actually my strongest ankle to do anything on, which is really weird.
That is definitely something. Wow.
Yeah. Went to PT and they were like, you're really strong. They were like, there's nothing wrong with like any tendons or anything. Like, yeah.
Wow. I was not prepared for that.
See, that's when you asked, I was like, oh, I've got a story for you.
See, that's the beauty of it, though, because like
Yeah.
my idea with this whole thing was to hear all these great stories, and like you're not supposed to expect these great stories. You're supposed to be like, okay, I come in with an expectation because obviously it's going to be a good conversation because we haven't had a talk like this in
Exactly.
forever,
Exactly.
since Beach Week probably,
Hmm.
and it's like you have a lot to catch up on, and we have. But it's like you never expect to hear all these like amazing stories like this because like my expectations were in the middle because like we've had good conversations about what do we believe at Beach Week, because like last year was it was fun,
It
and
was interesting.
and this year was even more fun because I got to hang out with y'all again.
Yes.
Obviously a little different, but like you get to see how like all of us grow as people, but obviously you don't know the true story behind it. It's kind of cool to just see that because like I've heard a lot of athletes talk about their injuries and all that, but
Mhm.
never once have I heard of an athlete literally, because I believe dancers are athletes. Trust me, my sister will kill me if I don't say that. But because she was a dancer too.
We love you, Carrington.
Yes, we do. She'll be on pretty soon. But it's just really cool to see how like athletes in all different sports and areas like still have the same kind of cool stories about not just injuries, but also like how God can use them through their sport, through that.
And I thought it was pretty cool too because it was like that was the same summer that I got saved. So it's like from getting saved to like still kind of like wondering and like having like not doubts, but like lots of questions
No, yeah, absolutely.
to him like being like, "Hey, boom, like do you believe me now?" You know what I mean?
No,
Like
absolutely.
it was insane and that is definitely a moment that I will like forever hold with me.
No, absolutely. I mean, God puts the right people in the right place at the right time, and He'll definitely test you in your faith. I'm willing to bet that was probably a big test in your faith, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I was sitting there like here I am at this dance camp. Like first of all, I'm on scholarship here. Like things were going really great and then like I have 2 weeks left out of the 4 weeks and I just broke my ankle.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of a moment of like, well, what am I doing here? And then I was like, no, like I want to stay. Like I want to see what's going to happen. And I'm glad I stayed.
Hey, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Because I'm like, imagine if I hadn't had listened and I had just
Yeah.
gone home.
You never would have had the story to tell.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you said you do dance though, right?
Yeah, so
You
I still teach.
You still teach. You kind of want to give us a little
Yes.
background as that. My little sister probably love this.
Yes, so I teach at Evolve Danceplex, my
She's
favorite
repping the
place
squad right
ever.
now.
Repping the t-shirts. I actually have to go there later today. Yeah, so when I had retired from the company that I danced with, I'd retired because of a different injury. But earlier this year, I was like finally like good to go back. And so I babysit for a family that also teaches there. And so they were like, hey, like whenever you're ready to go back, like call Brittany and Wendy, just go take a drop in class. And so I texted them, I like kind of explained who I was. And then I was like, do you guys have any like drop in classes that I could come take? And they were like, yeah, we do. And then Wendy had actually texted me later that day and she was like, hey, like, would you mind like actually coming by the studio later today and like meeting us? And I was like, yeah, of course. And so I went by the studio later that day and we were talking and like just getting to know each other. And then they sat down with me and they were like, so like our ballet director just moved back to New York. They were like, she's going back to work and like da da da. So they were like, we don't have a ballet director right now. And they were like, how would you feel about teaching classes? And I was like,
That was quick.
I would love to. I was like, I would absolutely love to. Because I was like, I haven't danced in like 2 years, but I was like, I still have got all the knowledge about it. Like,
Why not?
Why not? And so I've been teaching for them since like early February. And it's been really, really sweet because like a lot of the girls, they didn't like their ballet teacher who was just like kind of filling in for them. And so like when I came in, I kind of really tried to set a tone of like, obviously this is a place where we're gonna like work hard and train to be the best that we can be. But I was also like, I wanted to be like a very loving and caring person for them. Like especially like a lot of them were dealing with some injuries because it was halfway through their season and they're competition dancers. So they're already like under a lot of stress. And I was like, I wanted my ballet classes to be like a very like stress-free environment and a very caring environment, but also a place where like we worked hard and did all the things we're supposed to do.
No, absolutely.
And so I got really close with two of our senior girls who just graduated, but like it was super super sweet to just like be able to talk with them about a lot of different things that were like going on with their lives because like that was a person that I did become for them. Like they felt like they could trust me with a lot. And I was like, I feel very, very honored in that way. I'm like, here I am. I've known you for what, like 4 or 5 months, but I'm like, I am so honored that like they trusted me to talk about things, and like in turn, like they wanted to be better at the things that they did. And so like their, what is it? Their work ethic like improved so much because like they actually fell in love with dance again.
No, I totally feel that. Not the
Yeah.
dance part, obviously. Not a big.
Basketball.
Well, you gotta think about it like this though. Each one of us, when it comes to sports, has a coach or a mentor that we're always really close with. That we feel like we can talk to anything. Mine was my first coach, my freshman year of college. His name was Mitch Freeman, and he played for my dad in high school when my dad coached high school a while ago. That's crazy to think about too. But one thing that him and I had was obviously we had a little bit of relatability. At the time, we had a team of 15. By the time the season started, we only had 9. And the only white guy on the team was me. And that was a fun experience. And shout out to those boys on that team. But one thing that I had in common with him was the fact that, like, I wasn't expected to play. I mean, heck, I broke my wrist literally in the preseason 3 weeks before the season or 3 months before the season started. I didn't think I was going to play, and by the grace of God, I did. But one thing that I saw was like Mitch was there for me when nobody else was. Like I was going through struggles at the time. Like at the time, I had just gotten out of a relationship that broke my heart, and I was trying to use basketball to kind of get away from it. And one thing that he told me, because he always saw me in the gym, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'd be in the gym because I just didn't know what to do, get rid of my emotions. And at the time, he was always there late for some reason. Thank God he was, because if he wasn't, I don't know if I would have been able to be impacted by him. But he always talked to me, he was like, hey man, it's okay. You don't have to shoot a basketball and let out your emotions. And I was like, that really stuck with me. Because like I'd always gone to the gym and tried to shoot, dribble a basketball, bounces right back up. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And shot and tried to get my emotions out like that. And I realized something that day was like, I can trust in somebody even better. And he showed me this Bible that I still have back in my room right now over the residence house here. And in it, he wrote these words: don't forget, the Lord will follow you wherever you go. And to me, that was really huge because I was like, man, he really did care for me. He barely knew he barely knew me from the last time he met me, and being my coach, he was always there for me through it all. And it's like you always see how like the mentors and the coaches you have in your life, like they're always going to be there for you, and it's kind of cool to see because like it's kind of quote unquote the reason I want to kind of maybe go into coaching. I think it'd be cool because like you get to have that impact on certain people, whether it might not be
Dude, I
whole
highly
team.
recommend it. I
Dude.
highly recommend it. I didn't think that like I would be in a teaching position like this, but I am so glad I am. Like it is the best thing.
Because you've been in it since February, so about 4 or 5 months now, almost.
And I've always taught too. Like
Well,
when we
yeah.
were on tour, I would teach, and just like all of these different things.
Like streets and all that kind of.
But like we would partner with different studios, and I would teach in their studios and other things. But it's like being able to have like the same group of kids every week and like be able to
Constant
train with
impact.
them and like constant impact on them is the best.
No, absolutely.
Like you see so much progress and so much growth, and like one of them, she like wants to come to Bible study with me and like all of these different things. So it's like when you are able to have like that much of an impact on a group of kids, like especially a group of high schoolers, it's like, yeah.
And you wonder why I'm here.
I know.
I mean, I've only been here 2 months, and I've enjoyed every second with these high schoolers.
Exactly.
Gosh, it's gonna suck leaving. But I just think it's really cool because, like, we get to. I mean, the same way. A high school minister is the same way. I mean, Harper and Justin have been the same way since I got here. I've seen them, the impact they've had over these students since they've been here. Like, Harper's been here a year, and those middle schoolers love him to death.
I know.
I hope y'all do.
I know. They're so cute. The little middle schoolers.
The ones that yell and scream and run around like crazy?
Oh, please.
Which ones?
I know a lot of them.
Actually, we're not going to say which ones because some of their parents are watching this.
No, I know a lot of the middle schoolers and a lot of the high schoolers just because, like, working in kids, like, I've seen a lot of those kids grow up.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a lot of the middle schoolers, they were in, like, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade when I started
CQ.
When I started coming to church here. So it's like I know a lot of them, and I've like seen a lot of them grow up, and so it's like I've actually been able to see a lot of growth in their lives. Like, even though they're crazy middle schoolers right now, it's okay.
There's a few. There's definitely a few.
But it gets better.
I know, trust me. I've seen
gets
some
better.
of those kids grow. I mean, heck, the first week after Wild Week, I went to watch like 6 of them play basketball in Concord.
Yeah.
And I got to see them grow, whether they got blocked or made a shot or anything. Like, got to see them grow through that because, like, you see the light that comes into their eyes when they see one of their favorite, like, what I wouldn't say favorite, but one of their more well known counselors like come to watch their basketball game. It's like,
I mean,
a
just
light
having
just
someone
shines.
that shows up for them.
We
Like,
always
that
gotta
is
show
the
up.
biggest thing for them because a lot of them, like, at this age too, are like still trying to figure out who they are, trying to figure out like where they fit in, all of these different things. So it's like when they have someone that like they see as like a mentor or someone that just shows up for them constantly, it's like, oh, like they're here to see me.
No, absolutely. That's what I did with the girls group too, because Rhino, obviously, he coaches a team now,
Yes.
which I think is awesome.
Yes.
And I got to go see them play a few times, and like I remember a few of them from Wild Week, but I didn't know a lot of them played on that team. So like they all came up to me out there like, "Oh my gosh, you're here! Thank you so much for coming." I was like, "Huh." It hit my heart because I was like, "Man, I didn't really have too many conversations with them at Wild Week, but like they remembered me and they were happy to see me." And it's like you never really truly know the impact of like having simple conversations with these middle schoolers until you see it in person.
Yes, I agree.
It's just really cool, man.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Oh god, this is not good.
Okay, what is your favorite passage of scripture?
Dude, I'm supposed to be asking you that question.
Well, I thought of it first. Sorry.
This is why she's the first. No, I'll cut that out completely. Please, I need to cut that out. But
So, what's your favorite passage of scripture?
passage or verse? Or both?
Both.
Oh, passage is easy. Passage is going to be David and Goliath. And the reason being is because, and me and John and I talked about this a little bit in our episode a little while ago for SOU. But like, you see how like all these Philistines and Goliath even look down on this little guy because like they didn't realize how true power he had, and it's like he gets up there, he takes 5 tiny little rocks, little stones, puts them in a sling, slings him at the giant, right at his head, knocks him down cold, cuts off his head, shows it to the dudes. They're all screaming. They run.
That is such like a boy story.
Oh, it definitely is. But I see it in a different way because, like, as great as all and cool as all as that is, like, no one truly understands like the reason in the story. Like, he wasn't supposed to be there. His brothers were all there. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was the youngest out of, I believe, 12 or 13 almost. And he was supposed to just bring supplies. He was supposed to show up, bring them, go back, go home, shepherd, like he usually did. And you get to see, because, like, even through that, God still used him. And that's the cool thing, because, like, I relate the story itself, because, like, he wasn't supposed to do any of that. He goes in, gets his armor, takes it off, because he didn't want to wear it. And he gets 5 stones, takes a slingshot, he just throws it. And he knocked down a dude that's, like, probably 10 feet tall. I wish. But, like, you get to see how, like, God uses everyday people to be witnesses for his glory. And it's kind of like, and I think I kind of relate that to, like, the reason I started this podcast was, like, there are everyday people like yourself and John and Aaron and Rhino and Harper and all these amazing people that are coming on this podcast. Like, God uses these people every day to witness not only to their families and to their friends, but also to these students that we get to pour into, whether it's in dance or whether it's in basketball, whether it's just our friends or whether it's students we talk to every Sunday. Like, we get an opportunity every time we see these kids to share the love of Christ with them, whether they believe or not. It's those simple laying of the seed that we might not ever get to see flourish, but we are the foundation that they get. And from that foundation can only grow.
Exactly.
So what's your favorite passage since you're stealing my
My
questions over here?
favorite passage is in Luke 7. I actually have it tattooed on me. Don't judge. Okay?
I'm not judging. I won't
but
watch.
It's the woman with the alabaster jar who comes and
Lays
washes
feet.
God's feet.
Oh yeah.
Like, But like my favorite part of that passage is the fact that like that alabaster jar and the perfume that was in it, like that was literally all that she had. Like she could have
It's
gone and
expensive too.
she could have gone and sold it and like had all of this money, but she chose to come and literally break the jar, empty all of its contents onto Jesus's feet and wash his feet with her hair.
That's something still.
Like that was kind of her like, this is all that I have and I'm giving it to you. And that's why that is like my favorite passage of scripture.
That is actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people think about, like, obviously people talk about like how much that alabaster is probably worth.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that's like in today's sense of perfume, it's like Dior kind of looking stuff. Like that's like
We're
expensive.
not talking Dior. We're talking like
Versace.
Versace.
Like we're talking expensive stuff.
Super
like,
expensive.
probably
And
like
a whole like
six
jar
pairs of
of
shoes.
it.
Like 6 pairs of like really nice kicks worthy. Like we're talking expensive.
And not just like a little perfume bottle either. Like it was an entire jar.
Like that thought.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see because like she broke that thing like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether she was strong or not, that's her business. But like she broke that thing, put it all on his feet, and washed it with her own hair. We're not talking like a rag. We're not talking like a towel or nothing like that. We're talking like her own hair. She flipped down, washed his feet with, and all the obviously you know the story. The disciples were looking at her like her crazy because they'd never seen that. But you got to remember the verse that I can't remember what. And we were literally just talking about this in Bible study literally 2 days ago. But like, for the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many.
Yes.
She probably didn't even know that verse because it might not have been written at the time. But she understood her place. And at that time, she understood that that was the Lord. And she wanted to give her all to the Lord.
Yes.
I think it's kind of cool. That's just me, though.
I think it's really cool.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yes. But my favorite verse is Hebrews 10:23.
Right.
And it says, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, that he who promised is faithful."
Is that also tattooed on your body?
Not yet. It will be soon.
That's kind of cool, though. I do think that's kind of cool, though, because, like, it talks a lot in the Bible about, like, don't mark your body and all that kind of stuff. But the idea is, like, don't mark your body with things that aren't holy to the Lord. Because, like, if you put a Bible verse on there, people are going to ask questions. That is an instant, I want to say, tool.
Oh, people ask me all the time because, like, my tattoos are pretty, like, some of them are pretty straightforward, and some of them are like, why do you have a vase and hands on your arms? Or like, what is that marking that's on your neck?
Question.
So it's like a lot of people will ask me like why I either have those tattoos or what those tattoos mean. And so it's like that is my favorite way of like being able to like be like, oh, like that's actually my favorite passage of scripture. And they're like, what is it? And I'm like, it's Luke 7 in the Bible. And then like I get to tell them the story about the woman with the alabaster jar. And so it's like, I love being able to tell people about God through like art on my body. I'm like, I think it's cool. And like, I have Hebrew written on my neck. I have his people on my neck. And so like a lot of people, like when they see it, like if I have my hair up, they'll see it and they're like, what is that? And so like a lot of people ask me about it. That's probably the one I get the most questions about. And so it's like, I get to be like, oh, like it says his people, it's written in Hebrew. And they're like God? And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
It's always a cool way to see how different people use what they have. Obviously, you know, I'm a big bracelet guy. It's like all the bracelets on my thing have to do with one purpose. Whether it says bend, don't break, or the 4 circles, or the daily Bible verse thingamabobber. Shout out to Haley for that one. And even the one from Concord that says you are loved, you are sent. Like, what we wear every day is an outward expression of what we believe, whether we believe it or not. Whether it's a Nike shirt, whether it's a school shirt, whether it's anything at all. Like, the things you show what you care about and how you put yourself out there. And
it's also just a good reminder, like for myself too. I don't know if you feel the same way, but like if I'm ever having a day that I'm like just like more like down than usual, like if I look down and I see like my 3 butterflies, faith, hope, and transformation, like that's biblically what butterflies represent. I'm like, yeah.
No, I completely
like, I remember
agree.
who God
I mean,
is.
you think about it, if you wear, because I'm a big shirt guy. Like,
yes, I love my shirts. This is a really funny fact, but it's
Go
like
for it.
I have 50 t-shirts.
That's it, or is that like a good number? Like what's the context of like 50?
That was after me purging through 200 t-shirts.
At least you got it down to a single or double digit number.
But also, like, for guys, it's normal to just wear t-shirts, right?
Well, yeah,
Girls, we have like t-shirts and then like dress shirts and then like tank tops and like all of the things. Like
that
I'm
is
talking
very true.
I'm talking just plain old t-shirts with like something on them.
200? You had 200?
I had 200 t-shirts.
Man, what the heck?
Okay, well, some of them were from like camps and some of them were just like random t-shirts that I had.
This is why my thrifting thing has become a problem.
Oh, it's bad.
I don't know.
But I'm down to 50 now.
I only brought 50.
I'm trying to purge again and get rid of some more, but I just can't get rid of them. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't wear half of them, but I just can't get rid of them.
Trust me, I give most of mine to Bowman. He likes the oversized T-shirts, so anything
Yes.
large that I get to him, he loves that kind of
I
stuff.
had a lot of Dutch Bros t-shirts. I just gave all of them to the girls that I know that work at Dutch Bros.
There are a good bit of Concord people that work at Dutch Bros. Now that I think about it,
Yes.
but yeah, it is definitely very interesting to see how different people use what they wear,
Yes.
what they express to share the gospel, and it's really
Yes.
cool. Because, like, you know me, I have those two pairs of shoes that have a cross on them,
Mhm.
and they have Psalm 23 written on them. I've almost wore them today, but they're dirty. I gotta wash them.
I almost wore my pandas today.
Oh yeah, we got the pandas. Shout out. I don't wear these a lot because they're kind of. I'm trying to make them nicer again.
Yeah.
But like, I have these shoes, and some of y'all are watching this notice. They're called. I call them my 23s, and they're not Jordan. They're Psalm 23.
Mhm.
And the idea is that you walk around with a verse on your shoe, people are going to notice, and they're going to be like, "Man, that's cool. What's your story about that?" And my friend Levi started a brand called Mirrorless Apparel. And his idea was that every day people want to put out what they believe. And so the Psalm 23s have Psalm 23 literally written in excerpts all over it. And he could probably give you a better explanation, and I'll drop the link down below so y'all can look at it. But like, I have two pairs of them, and they're honestly my favorite pairs of shoes for one reason. The shoes are a gateway into sharing the gospel. They're a gateway into sharing the gospel.
Really
that was really
chair.
loud. Yeah. But they're a gateway to sharing the gospel because like they see the shoes, they ask the question, there's the gospel right there. I think it's really cool. Shout out Levi Mirrorless Apparel. Drop them in the hat, but yeah. I think that was. I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
We've been waiting to do this since like
we've been really trying.
We've been trying to hang out too, but we all been so busy. So this is kind of like killing two birds with one stone.
I know. Me and Landon were supposed to take you mudding, and then it never happened.
Hey, it's all good.
We were gonna turn Paxton into a country boy.
She lost.
We lost.
I also been so busy, so it didn't work out. Yeah. But good news is I will be making trips up here. So
exactly.
Fingers crossed.
Do you have any more questions? I have like so many answers.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm definitely down to make this a longer one. I'm trying to think. What's a good question? Do you feel like there's been, and obviously you've had a lot of opportunities in your life, but do you feel like there's been one specific opportunity, whether it's dance, whether it's working at Concord with the students and the kids and all that, but do you feel like there's been one opportunity that the Lord has been using you the most to impact the lives of not only students and kids, but also like the lives of the parents and all that? Do you feel like there's one opportunity that's allowed you to do that the most?
I definitely feel like it's kind of a mixture of the church and dance.
Yeah.
Just because like when you get to know the kids, you get to know the parents. And like there have been so many parents that I've been able to talk to that it's like their family is going through all of these different things that it's like you would have never known unless like you would have talked to the parents about it, because the kids are all like happy and da 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 and like they'll do whatever and they're always smiling. But it's like when you actually get to talk to the parents and like get to know the parents, like there is so much more that's going on in their lives. So it's like even though these kids are like so happy, it's like I have a lot of them on my prayer list right now just because like their families are going through all of these things. And it's like as a team too and kids, like we always like make a point to like before our meetings, like we'll share things that are like parents have talked to us about, and like our whole team will pray about them together. And then like we'll continue to pray about them like throughout the following weeks. Like, and we always like ask for updates like from the parents, and then like we give an update to our team about like, hey, like I'm really glad we were praying about this, like this is what has happened like within the past 2 weeks with their family and that situation. So it's like it's been really cool to just like see like the growth of those situations.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always cool because like God gives us so many opportunities. Whether it's us leading at camps, obviously you've been to a few with us this year, and I've been to one
Yes.
with y'all. But whether it's camps, whether it's just simple everyday life when in a job, like you get to see how many opportunities God gives you to truly be a witness
Mm-hmm.
to those around you. Whether it's the parents, whether it's the students or the kids, or like
Yeah.
however you would say it, like you get to see how great it is to see how many opportunities God will give you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the people in this coffee shop that are listening to this and maybe they
Oh, I
want to
come
know
here
more.
all the time,
This is my first time.
and I love it. I come here all the time. Usually, when I go to coffee on my lunch break, this is where I end up.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But I've been able to have a couple conversations with people who work here, just like about a lot of different things. And it's like there's a lot going on in everybody's lives, but it's like unless you talk to that person, you wouldn't know anything about it.
The power of a question.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's all I really got. Well, I appreciate you, Liv,
Sweet.
coming on. First girl
Yeah.
of the entire podcast now.
I feel so honored.
So now I got to get more. But
Carrington,
thank
you're
you.
next.
Yes, Carrington will be. She's been wanting to do it since I started doing this, so she will be coming on when we get back to Louisiana in literally a week.
You need to bring Carrington up here next time you come.
I will be coming up here sometime throughout fall and spring. Fingers crossed, maybe I speak at a midweek. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
But yeah, well, thank y'all for tuning in. Olivia, thank you for being on here.
You're
It was a
very
pleasure.
welcome. Thanks for
Hope
having
y'all
me.
enjoyed it. Be staying tuned later today when we have Andrew Doan coming on, one of my
Yes.
fellow interns
Yes.
at Concord. I almost said Broadmoor. Enjoy y'all's day. Hope y'all have fun. Peace out.
Bye.